بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الحليم الغفور الودود الشكور مدبر الأمور وجابر المكسور الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور. أحمده سبحانه وتعالى على كل مقدور، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له شهادة تنجيك إلها من ظلمات القبور. وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله الذي أقام منار الإسلام صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه صلاة وسلاما دائمين متلازمين إلى يوم البعث. عباد الله، إن الله تبارك وتعالى يقول: يا أيها الذين آمنوا انفقوا من طيبات ما كسبتم ومما أخرجنا لكم من الأرض ولا تيمموا الخبيث منه تنفقون ولستم بأهله إلا أن تجمدوا فيه واعلموا أن الله غني حميد. الشيطان يعدكم الفقر ويأمركم بالفحشاء والله يعدكم مغفرة منه وفضلا والله واسع عليم. وأيضا لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون وما تنفقوا من شيء فإن الله به عليم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. We thank Allah. We are grateful to the one that is patient with us. Despite our shortcomings, He forgives us, and after His forgiveness, He shows us mercy, and He deserves to be thanked from our world. He is the one that corrects the affairs of man the way He likes, and He corrects the one that needs correction, because He is the one that created the heaven and the earth, and He is the one among the created. He has put in light and darkness in all those things. We thank Him once again for His mercy and for His decision on us. We testify that there is no other base of worship beside Him, the one, the unique, whose testimony can save one from the darkness of the grave. We also testify that our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam is His messenger and servant, the one that Allah has with the gold and the light of Islam. Peace and blessing of Allah be upon Him, those who follow Him, members of His household until the day of Qiyamah. The servant of Allah. Allah tells us in the glorious Quran, Surah 2, Ayah 262 that, O you who believe, spend from the good things that Allah has brought out for you from the earth, and do not give defective one that if you want to take it too, you will close your eyes. Allah says you should know that Allah is free from all wrongs. And you should also understand that it is only the devil that promises you poverty and commands you to do things that are apart. And you should know also that what Allah promised you is forgiveness, grace, and you should also know that Allah is wise in His knowledge. Quran also tells us in Surah 3, Ayah 92 that you can never get anything that is good until you also spend from those things that is good that Allah has provided for you. And you should know that whatever you spend, you should know that Allah is aware of it, whether in the open or in the secret. O you who believe, fear Allah, and always say the right thing at the right time. If you do this, Allah will cleanse you of your bad work. He forgives you of your sin, and will forever follow Allah and His messenger as we live the greatest of all the days. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We thank Allah and we are sincerely grateful to Him. We thank Him for His mercy, and we thank Him for His blessing on us. If we all look at ourselves well now, almost all of us in this nation now, we can describe ourselves as being poor. Everybody is challenged. There are so many things that we are looking for here and there that we could not get. And that is all we take me to the title of our khutbah today. I put it, poverty, the Islamic solution. And when people are poor, does Islam have anything to tell us how we could be rich? At least if we are not rich, how we can avoid being poor? Does Islam have anything about that? That's why poverty, if you want to define it ordinarily, it can mean lack of in a man's life. That is, when somebody is lacking something in his life, then it means that person is poor about that thing. A woman who does not have a child, that is barren, that time she needs a child. In that situation, we can refer her as being poor as far as looking for a child is concerned. May Allah, all those who are praying to have the blessing of the womb, may Allah give them the best that will be useful for them in this life and in the hereafter. A man who does not have faith, he does not know the right from his left in Islam, is also regarded as a poor person. A man who disobeys his creator and no sense of remorse is also a poor person. But somebody who lacks basic needs and necessities of life is poor, and that is the concentration of our sermon today. We should know, the Muslim in particular, and the black man in general, that we are in a bondage as our needs and necessities have been redefined by other people. To us now, an average person is looking for money to buy an expensive phone. He wants to buy an expensive car. He does not want to live where his money can take him. He wants to compete with people who does not know the sources of their income. And unfortunately, even in our food, many people, they want to go and eat from where they think is high, not knowing that the cheapest food is actually the best food. And we have redefined what we are looking for. This person will tell you is hungry. Somebody who can afford to buy $500 recharge card. Somebody who can be buying data on his phone. They will still be begging for money for food, because we have redefined what means to be poor in our life. And that is why so many people will never get happiness, because they redefine what they mean, what they are looking for. They too, they are not the one that decide. They allow other things to decide for them. The little for them to be happy with, they believe they have nothing, and they will continue to be begging. In Islam, our necessities are to serve the interests of our religion and our existence in life. Because Allah says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. That the essence of coming to this life is to worship Almighty Allah. That means our needs are those things which we are in need of in order to broaden capability, so as to eliminate narrowness of living, that is poverty, which most probably causes hardship and anguish. The meaning is that ours is to eat so that we can serve Allah. It is not for us to eat so that we can live. Ours is eating to be able to serve Allah. Poverty, as many see it, is a bit different from the way we see it. The life of a Muslim is not just to eat. It's not just to acquire wealth, more wealth and much more wealth, but to be able to satisfy our needs as at when needed. Allah tells us the little things about our life. In chapter 7, verse 32, Allah says, كُلْ مَنْ حَرَمَ زِينَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي أَخْرَجَ لِعِبَادِهِ وَطَيِّبَاتٍ مِنَ الرِّزْقِ قُلْ هِيَ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا خَالِصَةً يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ كَذَلِكَ نُفَصِّلُ الْآيَاتِ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْلَمُونَ. Allah said that, who is that person that has condemned, that has prohibited the good thing of life for his creation? Allah said that all good things is for everybody, but it is for the Muslims. It is for everybody in this world, but especially for those who believe in the day of Qiyamah. Qiyamah. Allah said that is the way He used to explain things for those who have knowledge. It is these little things that Almighty Allah has given to us that most of us will complain that we are hungry. A scholar said in Nigeria, he said of every Nigerian who is not lazy, he might not be rich, but might not describe himself as being poor. Because if you can just move around, you will have something to eat without begging. It is this modern good thing which Allah has given to us, and yet not in our reach, that we want to treat today. And how can we have those things can be within our reach? The root of our poverty in Nigeria and the third world in general is multifaceted. Most of them, they were based on man's inhumanity to man. Although, when Allah was about creating man, the angels futuristically opined that man will be killing man and they will be committing mischief on earth. But Allah said, don't worry, I know what you do not know. Allah said, Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun. That yes, I know they will be committing all this mischief, but don't worry, I know what you do not know. Also, one main cause of our poverty is based on what I call international trade relations among nations of the world and competition within the society. We all know that what Allah has given to us, that an average Nigerian who are supposed to be who are not supposed to be poor. Many of us might not be rich, but who are not supposed to be poor. Allah has given us something that it is enough and much more enough for us. But we are unlucky because we do not have the right leadership to manage those things for us. And that is why you will see Nigerians will sell crude oil to them outside. They will sell it cheap. And when we want to buy it, we will not be able to afford it. There's even one thing which they do now. They said there is also lithium. They sell it in a very small money. It goes out. When we want it back, it is a big money. If you don't even know that, you know our cocoa in Nigeria. They will sell it to them with cheap price. And when it is coming back, we will not be able to afford the little things. That is the number one problem. But we have a solution from Islamic point of view. And the unequal and self-seeking commercial relationship imposed by the rich countries on the poor states must be brought to a halt. As they make the poor poorer and the rich richer, for example, all what we produce is going out very cheap and it's coming back very expensive. We all know that even just our naira, perhaps you will work and work and work. When they want to buy it from you, they will say that 900 naira, it is $1. Then at the end of the day, if you work, let's say you work for 5 years, you cannot even have $10,000 because your salary cannot be up to 8 million that you can have in that 10,000 from that $10,000. The meaning is that if we continue to work like this, it means poverty will kill all of us. And another is our country. It is senseless wars. We all know what is happening here and there. Those who are supposed to go to farm could not go. And the money that was supposed to use on food and other productive things were using on buying arms and ammunition. At the end of the day, the money that was supposed to help us begin to be a problem for us. And another major area of where we are having problems, it is in the area of corruption. The money that is meant for 1 million people, only 15 people will share it in their pocket. And at the end of the day, when they carry it, they run away from the country. It means hunger might likely set in because they have run away with the money that is meant for all of us. Also, mismanagement. There are some people who is not that they are corrupt, but they do not know what to use the money for. At the end of the day, you just see them keeping the money. They are the kind of leader that will be in a particular position, that this money is meant for the welfare of the people. He will not know what to do with it. He's not a thief, but he will return the money back to the pocket where it is coming from. At the end of the day, everybody is also becoming poor. The micro and macroeconomic policy of the country, which is also based on interest economy, is actually killing us. Those who know, we know that if you go to bank to borrow money, let's say you borrow 100,000, by the time it is 3-4 years, that of 100,000 will become like 900,000. How are you going to pay the money back? It's not going to be possible. And thinking of it has killed so many people in our country. Also, the unequal distribution of wealth among the citizens of 90% of the nation's wealth is in the hands of the oligarchic few, at least the feudal lords, who are less than 10% of the total population. Another source where we are poor in this country is wasteful spending, is another root of being poor by almost all of us. Man, woman, government, and other institutions. You see women, they will be buying clothes that they will wear even once. You will see men, they want to buy powerful phone, they want to buy powerful car, just to show off. They do not know that no matter how big that thing is, the moment you get something that you think is the best that you wanted to buy, the day you get it, it is that day you discover the uselessness of that thing that you'll be looking for another one. So at the end of before you know it, you start thinking for another thing. You can even see some of our Muslim girls and boys. They said they are doing wedding. They were going to sew a cloth that they will wear only once in their life, and they will spend so much money and will think they are doing something good. And now we ask all of us who have also been involved in this kind of thing. Quran warns us. He said, "Wallahi al-fathu la tushriku wa lam yaftaru wa kana bayna dhalika qawwama." Allah said, those who when they spend, they are not extravagant, nor niggard, but find a middle way in between that. And that is what Almighty Allah is telling us. That when we are spending, you want to buy clothes, you don't feel that you are on level 10, that your salary is not more than 120, 150,000. You want to compete with somebody that's a businessman, that can get 120,000 in 10 minutes, and you want to compare yourself with him. You want to wear the same clothes. You want to wear the same type of shoes. At the end of the day, you become to steal. Your mind will not be at rest. And most of the time, our government also, they spend in an unproductive area of our economy. You see them, they will be borrowing money because they are doing laundry. They will borrow money on spot. Will be borrowing money to do so many things. And at the end of the day, nothing works. If you look at most of our state governments today, you discover that there are so many projects that are ongoing that have been abandoned by different governments, by successive governments. The reason is that the project is not even necessary. They just want to show up. At the end of the day, when the projects are completed, it might not even be useful. Go around Nigeria, you will see so many buildings, you will see so many projects that many of them are completed and nobody is using them. You now ask, for what have we used this thing? And the money are stuck there and we are not getting anything. And the greatest one that is now affecting us, it is that we are following our colonial masters blindly. Whatever they do is what we want to do too. You do not forget that they have finished their own work. They started playing. While we have not started working, we are following those who are playing. And above all, Allah has promised, all of us are not going to make it in life. Some people will die poor, no matter what you do for them. So, and that is why we cannot blame anybody. But if you look at this, the way in which poverty is affecting us, we look at our life, we discover that even individually from embryo stage of our life to birth, that all through our life, those people who are poor, because they will not have enough nutrients, even when they are in their mother's embryo, when they were born, you discover that their intelligence is not sharp. And that is why at the end of the day, as birth, you see the children of poor people, that is why they do not grow. That is why they do not have success, because they do not have enough something in their system that can make them remember or understand things. There is an NGO in the country today, especially in the Northeast. It now began to realize that in the Northeast, their research showed them that they are very poor. They are now coming with a particular nutrient. They are now adding to children's food so that it can enhance their intelligence some of the time. Those are the effects of poverty in the life of a child. Right from embryo, when somebody is pregnant, you should know when the person is poor, the rest assured that they might end up all the generations being poor. And also, it is the root of the modern day crime, including drug and cults. Most people who are involved in drugs today, I was listening to somebody that was arrested by NDLA about 3 days ago. He said, why were you doing this. He said he wants to use it to pay for children's school fees and to take care of his mother who was sick. Somebody said, supposing you are giving the money, he said, I will build the job. It means sincerely, it was poverty that forced him into such a terrible thing. It is also the root of moral decadence, which we are seeing among our people. It is also, if you go to so many churches today, so many people are looking for mirage, and that is why everybody is looking for miracle. You see them to all those things that you think that why should somebody be here? When more than 90% of them, it is poverty that has taken them there. It is also the root of most diseases that we get. But notwithstanding, it also affects us psychologically. And above all, poverty can lead to untimely death. Something that you do not need to die because you don't have money to buy medicine. You don't have money to eat the right thing. Before you know it, that person is gone. May Allah save us from poverty. And let us now look at the efforts of government. So many governments have done a lot of things about the consciousness of removing poverty. Many of us will remember the stand like OFN, Operation Feed the Nation. You remember during Shagari Green Revolution. You remember School to Farm program. You remember Better Life for Rural Women. You remember NDE. You remember NEED. You even remember the palliative, the one that is also going on now, the 5 billion naira to which state. But we should ask ourselves, why is it that all those things are not working? And even the one which is there now, for sure, even it is dead on arrival. We have seen that this thing will not go to anywhere, all these 5 billion. Why is it like that? Well, I commend all of them for the work which they have been doing. Anything that is not based on Allah's decree, it will only be permutation, try by error, and we might not get to anywhere. And that is why Islam has first tell each and every one of us that if you want to go out of poverty, wakuli imadu, Allah says, just stand up, go and walk. So all of us, the first thing that you want to go out of poverty, you must go and walk. And zakat, Almighty Allah commanded it. And that is why if every Muslim were to pay zakat rightly and timely and with the right amount, more than almost all of us in this country, we might not have any poor person in this country. And Allah also introduced what we call contentment in whatever you are doing. First and foremost, learn to be contented in whatever Allah has given to you. And there's another one which Almighty Allah has given to us in this, as Muslims. We call it work. That is the word we call endowment. Most of us, especially Muslims in this part of the world, we do not understand endowment. It is the thing that the Muslims started. The one that was done by Sayyidina Uthman during the time of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It is still in Medina up to today, and the reward is going. Endowment is, if you have a house, you say this house, all the rent on it should be given to poor people. They should be using it to raise them up. Even when you die, you know you have such a thing, for life it will continue to work. You can have vehicles. You can say they should be using this vehicle to carry people from so time to so time, that free of charge, and that all the things they get there, they should be using it to help other people. It means the reward will be continued in your life until that thing stops. And also, another area that Allah has given us the opportunity is what Islam refers to as gift. When you are giving gift to yourself, it will also encourage love among yourself. There is an aspect that Quran refers to as al-ghanam, the one popularly referred to as war booty. Many of us in Islam, we have think that that is meant for a particular group of the Muslims. Some scholars have redefined war booty to mean any contract which you get that you compete for, that at the end of the day that one that you get it, they say 1/5 of the profit which you get from such a contract must actually go into Baitul Mal. And also, you can beg to get money in Islam, but you're begging the moment that you are in need of a particular thing and you get it, any cover you beg after that is haram. It also means that you can actually do some other thing. You can also borrow money so that when you have a challenge, and that money will help you to solve some problem. And that is why in AL-HABIBIYYAH here, we have introduced about 4 programs to solve the problem of poverty among the Muslim community. First and foremost, we introduce what we call Zakat and Endowment Foundation, that people are paying their zakat, and with all humility and with gratitude to Allah, it has gone, at least the last one, we distributed about 15 million naira to those who are in need. And alhamdulillah, that zakat has begun to raise so many lives. We also introduced what we call Do Something initiative after the COVID-19 which we had, of which we encourage everybody that comes to the mosque, at least donate 50 naira on behalf of yourself and on behalf of your family, so that that money will now be able to give it to people to be borrowing. As I'm talking to you now, we have raised not less than 20 million that is outside. Some people, if you borrow 50,000 naira, you complete the payment, you are entitled to borrow another 100,000. If you complete the payment, you can borrow 200,000. And that is the way they have been doing it. As I'm talking to you now, they have more than 20 million outside, of which they are doing. We also introduce what we call food bank, that you can come and take food, even from the mosque, without paying any trouble, not just during the Ramadan and all other things. And among the last program that we do for us to be able to cure this poverty, it is AL-HABIB project, which we introduce, that all your households, those things which you have gotten at home and you are no more using them, that you can actually bring it to the mosque. All those things which you bring to the mosque, it can also be something that is very new to some other people. It means we started all this program so that all of us will be conscious of the other person. That when you are eating at home, remember some people who have not eaten. That the little which remain with you can be better for some people. When you have a cloth, instead of you to throw it away, some people, it will be their best cloth when you give it to them. We are also seeing somebody that even brought kitchen utensils, even chairs, tables. They have sent it to people and it became something better. The essence of it for us, to be conscious of ourselves. And when we help ourselves, Quran has tell us that what that we should come together to help ourselves in doing good. When we do this, Almighty Allah will not forget us. The only prophet will forget us and say that that the entire everything which you have in this world is cost. And the world itself is a cost world. He said the only thing that is not cost there, it is what we have done for Almighty Allah. In Allah he said, وَإِذَا يَجْلِكُ الْقَرَى وَيَأْتُ الْفَحْشَاءَ وَالْمُنكَرَ وَالْبَغْيَ يَعِظُكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. Allah commands us to be doing of good and without to hate and kill. He forbids us to be too person and rebellion. He instructs you that we may receive our ambition. وَكَانَ عَلَيْكَ تَوَكَّلْنَا وَعَلَيْكَ مِنْهُ وَعَلَيْكَ الْمَصِيرُ. رَبَّنَا لَا تَدَعْ لَنَا ذَنبًا إِلَّا غَفَرْتَهُ وَلَا هَمًّا إِلَّا فَرَجْتَهُ وَلَا مَرِيضًا إِلَّا شَفَيْتَهُ وَلَا مَيْتًا إِلَّا رَحِمْتَهُ وَلَا ذَنبًا أَمْرًا مِنْ أَمُورِ الْخَيْرَاتِ إِلَّا سَأَلْتَهُ وَيَسَّرْتَهُ. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. قوموا إلى الله.